Parliament Esther Passaris is now seeking to prohibit public gatherings and protests among other places, or rather close to, among other places, Parliament, the courts and other protected areas. Passaris is seeking changes to restrict protests or public meetings within a 100-meter radius of protected areas.
Members of Parliament are enacting a law that is aimed at barring protesters from assembling within 100 meters from protected areas. Among the areas targeted will be Parliament. In her proposal, Passaris is proposing the established demarcation of areas demonstrations should be held. The proposals provide for the amendment of Section 2 of Public Order Act to redefine the terms public meetings and public procession and include the definitions of capital city, urban area, and assembly and demonstration zone. The bill seeks to empower the Cabinet Secretary to designate assembly and demonstration zones in consultations with county governments and prescribes the areas within which public meetings and proceedings are prohibited. Statement on the delegation of legislative powers and limitations of fundamental rights and freedoms.
Prohibit public gatherings within 100 meters of key institutions, namely Parliament, courts, protected areas under the Protected Areas Act, prescribe penalties for violations, not to criminalize protests, but to protect lives and infrastructure. The judicial precedent. Honourable members, the bill is not only constitutionally grounded, it also fulfills judicial guidance.
Clause 3 of the bill delegates legislative powers to the Cabinet Secretary to designate assembly and demonstration zones. The bill may limit the rights to assemble, picket and demonstrate under Article 37 of the Constitution. Statement on whether the bill concerns county government's control of public meetings and processions falls within the use of police services, which is a function of the national government. The bill is therefore not a bill concerning county governments in terms of Article 110 of the Constitution.
No Kenyan, be it a protester, a police officer, a bystander, suffers unjustly in the exercise of a right. Order is not the enemy of democracy, it is the foundation. We must protect the Republic from disorder and ensure that the exercise of one's right does not become the infringement of another's safety. I urge this committee to support the bill, not for the government, not for Parliament, but for every Kenyan who values peace, justice, and the rule of law.
The principal object of the bill is to amend the Public Order Act Cap 56 to provide for the demarcation of assembly and demonstration zones in which persons may hold public meetings and public processions. The proposed Section 5B prohibits the holding of a public meeting or public procession within a radius of 100 meters from precincts of Parliament as described under the Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Act, a protected area under the Protected Areas Act, and a building in which courtroom is situated. According to Passaris, the contravention of this provision is an offence with a penalty of a fine not exceeding 100,000 shillings or imprisonment for a term not exceeding 3 months or both. Elizabeth Mutiko, TV 47, Nairobi.